And we are hot. Hi, my name is Sean, memesIT.com, and we're going to show you today what a computer is made of. And by popular demand, well, not really. People just don't believe that it's me playing this old picking and grinning and picking. So you can do it. You can do it. Trust me. If I can do this, you can do what I'm doing. There's nothing to it. No further delay. Thanks for bearing with that. Just want to answer those non-believers as fast as possible, if it's possible. And that's an easy one to put to rest. If you know anything about copyrights, it's important. Apparently, in other countries, there there seems to be there seems to be an actual difference between different countries on copyrighted material. So what's acceptable here as fair use may not be fair use somewhere else, and so it messes up the whole thing. So that's why I'm using my own music, just not to show off or not to mess anybody's head up about what music should be or anything, but just because I can use it because it's mine. I really can't use other people's music as freely as I would like to. I wish we lived. I'm hoping for a world that it won't matter. Well, it'll just be like me showing you something, like in real life. Like I'll show you a video. I don't need a license for that, do I? I mean, I can just take my phone and say, "Hey, come here, check out this video," and everybody wants that because then maybe that person will go. But until that time, until we can actually really share other people's stuff, we're going to stick to the rules because we have a system around here of guiding principles, if you will, some principles, and one of them is the number one is to stay free, right? Stay sober, and you stay free, but either way, stay free is the ultimate goal. If anything leads to incarceration, the big house, we affectionately call it here the booty house because that's what it is. We like to keep things in their true perspective. For me, it makes it easier to make decisions based upon a little cute title, if you will, that I put on to get right to the point, to get right to it, straight to the can I say anus? I mean, what are we all protecting? What do we find that we have to protect the most? So that's the way I see things as far as staying free. It's to stay out of the booty house. Period. If anything leads to that, then I'm not down with doing any of that because that's can't be happy incarcerated. That's just not the way it works. So be free, live under the rules that are abide by the rules in which you live under. If you don't like it, you can go somewhere else, perhaps, where you can do that thing that you want to do so bad that may lead in America to the booty house. So number one, stay free, stay sober, stay free. Number two is be good to yourself, and number three, of course, it probably should be number two in my mind, or number one to me. Be kind to others if you can. It only shows, you know. Uh, anyway, I don't want to go into a whole nother thing, but right over here, yeah, right there, I have a computer set up, and it's just a CPU. It's just a box. It's just the thing that holds all the. It's like the engine of a car, if you will. Just to put bad analogy, probably, but we're just gonna make it simple. We're gonna go under the hood of that thing right there. We're just gonna go under the hood and take a look around. All right, basically. And one of these episodes will show you how to kick the tires, but not literally, but figuratively. Uh, so if you just come over here, let me do one of my favorite Mr. Rogers from the allegedly Mr. Rogers B. All right, so here's our little guy, scrapper. Probably by the time you see this video, but however, I am an advocate of recycling and putting back into the community. And you can get one of these at cybernetworknm.org, and it'll run, it'll work just fine like a regular computer. It's not aesthetically pleasing, no, by no means of the no stretch of the imagination, but it works. So there's the hood of the car, all right, and we're just gonna take that off. But before you go poking around in a machine, I always advise to order one of these little guys, static protector, so that you don't short out a motherboard or a part on the motherboard, or you don't cause some electric static that might mess up your computer. Okay, these cost about anywhere from between $3 to $6. Basically, all they do is they have a clip to be so that you can get grounded, and this little guy with some sort of super futuristic device, science inside this little box here in this little tab, and all it does is make you so that you're grounded when you put it on, any way you want to wear it. And they come in all colors. I like blue because it kind of tool specific. It's used for a specific task, and blue I associate with electricity because it looks so cool and I love it. But I'm scared of it. I was born that way. No, no. I respect it. Of course, not as much as the hair Tesla, but that's another story. But this will prevent you from messing up your machine. Horror stories or very funny stories, but tragic as far as I've seen people destroy new equipment by taking some kind of blowing device that blows air really hard, or harder than and they put that to dust out the computer, and it reverses some cooling fans inside the machine, and cause an electric shock and short out the motherboard, all kind of parts, and there goes a brand new computer. Because just simply people just don't really know, or maybe they know but they don't really apply it, these things that they know. So we're going to help you apply some things. There's a car over there, we got the hood open, we're looking at the engine. Simple. But we've taken precautions, just like you would for a tire. You jack up a car, you use a jack stand, so that the thing, no matter what, because no matter how sorry someone is afterwards, you still have a car on you. If they bump the jack and the jack goes down, or whatever, in hindsight, you probably would have did things differently if you in fact get crushed by a car, if you're still with us. Are you still with us? All right. This is sort of like that, like a jack stand. You jack up the car, put the stand underneath, or the stands underneath, and you let the jack down, and the jack's out of the equation with the long arm that usually gets knocked over, and then there goes the car on somebody's foot or head. Hopefully not you. Hopefully not us. But this is the equivalent of that. It's like a jack stand, if you would. Save you time and money. Listen to the ninja. You should have listened to the ninja. Hey, $3 to $5, or $3 to $6 allegedly, save you thousands, perhaps. Depends on how much You paid for the thing you're messing around with. Like over in Texas. That's right, like over in Texas. Whatever that means. Alright, so let's zoom in a little bit. We got our trusty cam. We're going to zoom in. Taking the hood off. Alright, and we kind of used this clip right here. You see that? You use this clip. It's attached to the leader. And we find you can tap around the frame and divert any static electricity like that. That's a down and dirty way to do it. But here, if you attach to the frame, I'm sure there's a 100 ways to do this, but I just use simple rules, and here I've just attached it to the frame, away from the power supply. Somewhat preferably not next to any wires. Your thing might look a little different, but I advise taking these extra steps because they can save you tons of money and time, like I said before. But basically, what you're looking at here, and I'm gonna find a pointer around here somewhere. Around here somewhere is a pointer, and I think I have it. It's gray. I don't know if that's going to work. You see that? Alright. Wouldn't it be cool if I can make that into a lightsaber? Alright, so this is your power supply, and that's where the plug goes in on the other side. Oops. Plug goes in, and I could just kind of move this and show you, I think, a little bit. So here's where the plug goes in, right? And that's a whole separate unit, power supply. That's where the plug goes in. If you open that up, you find lots of big pieces of components. Some small, like that guy. Anybody see that? I don't know if you can see these little caps, but these little guys, like that guy. All right. And you find some copper. I've opened up plenty of these guys. There's a little board in there, sort of like this board, but made to fit inside this case. And that's basically that. Now your power, all these little wires here are going to parts on the board. So there's a main power, so that all these other little connections can get power, and it's going right. That's the main amount of power. And then you got some going to the CD drive, all right, and your DVD drive, your DVD-ROM, and you got a little ribbon here. This is signals travel through that. So this is what we used to rely on a lot for jumping hard drives, making slaves and masters, and there's a word right there, slave. However, this one is being used to communicate between these two drives. So now they're linked. They're linked here. They go to the motherboard and then translate over into whatever language it's written in, and it reads whatever's on the disk, and then it can perform with other programs. But that's what this little ribbon is, and it's affectionately called ribbon. And as you can see, it plugs right into the motherboard. So this is your motherboard. Everything connects to it. There's a major component. However, everything can come off of this board, and you can put a new board in there, or you can put other stuff on it if you know what you're doing, or you can plug and play. Plug and play is important to know about, because it basically is what took it to market. So this stuff was started in a garage, tinkering around, messing around, as they say, and now it's big time. But basically, without plug and play, it wouldn't have made it as big of a success, because people couldn't tailor it to what they needed. So if this is a car and this thing is the engine, and we got the hood up, so one of the things that made Chevy great, all right, back in the day, and all you mechanics know this. There was a Chevy came along with something called the Chevy small block. All right, and the small block was a engine that would, coulda, woulda, shoulda. Uh, and That's just Seanism there. Actually, it was so successful of an engine block that they had a problem selling vehicles allegedly, selling services, et cetera, allegedly, and it was great. So you've seen all of these cars just, or people just being able to fix this engine over and over and over again. So then what happened? It looked like, in my mind, Chevy took a key from Panasonic, which, if anybody is still around from those days, Panasonic basically had a different part that did the same function on every little product that they had. But so they had this incredible way of making money. So you couldn't just take parts off, even if it did the same thing off one thing, and put it on another thing. Panasonic just went crazy with that. All right, and Chevy just had enough. Whether that's true, maybe whether if that gave them the idea or not, there's a good comparison there of what Chevy did next was to actually flip the motor around, change out the sizes of everything, and take the carburetor off and just threw that thing in the trash. And the next step, somebody went and bought that was used to that small Chevy, that small block Chevy, allegedly. They went and then they bought a new car. They opened the car and they don't recognize anything. They don't know. They can't understand what happened to the carburetor. you know? But I said all that to say, these guys are kind of like a standard, and they realized, the people that were designing and engineering these things, that it wouldn't be as successful if people couldn't upgrade it or scale it, if you will. So they left a lot of room with American National ANSI Standards Institute, so that things could be scalable. Like per se, you could buy a basic computer and make it better to fit your need for your company or for your personal use. Okay, and that's probably a terrible analogy, but it worked. It worked. It worked so well. In fact, it's this type of situation lasted longer than most retailers would care for it to last, because I won't say any names because I want this video to get seen, but no longer are the services there for you to actually build a computer, go there and get all the parts like it used to be, or get repairs. They basically walk you over to a thing that cost hardly any money in comparison to years ago, and it would probably cost you more to fix the thing or change the thing than it would just to buy another one that fits your needs. Got it? So this was a great idea, and it still is. Some companies are still putting it out there, and it's in the news, and we've been talking about it. Selling different boards for projects, creating contests, and all that good stuff based upon this knowledge. All right, so if we put our little protector, if we put our little protector back on, static electricity, keep everything from stop shorting out, I can touch the sides preferably away from the power supply. I guess really you just want to hit the frame of this guy, and then you're grounded to it. So, and everything's going down to the ground, and it's unplugged, and I did some things to actually just disperse the power. So one thing you can do too is when it's unplugged is just hit the power button just to disperse any power that may be left over in one of these parts or in the power supply, or who knows. This is a piece of RAM. This is a piece of memory that allows your computer to work with your processor, which is underneath this fan, to retrieve or perform actions off of the hard drive, whatever that hard drive is. So RAM is basically kind of like, I guess, I don't know, in a car. I guess if you have, I don't know, I don't know how to compare that to a car and an engine. Anyway, they make with the mother. Well, RAM is considered memory, and this is RAM, and it works with your processor, and you can check that out. My point here, I don't want to go too deep into it, but I just want to show you what this does. If you have a slower amount of RAM, your computer's programs are going to run slower because it can't interact in concert with the processor. That's a chip that's on that board. Everything comes off of this board right here. Nothing happens without it. Everything goes through it. So that's why they call it the motherboard. So that these can be upgraded. I got 512s in this machine, and I believe that the specs on this machine with all the components together say that it maxes out at 4 gig. I have 4 slots for RAM, 1, 2, 3, 4, leading away from the processor. And you notice they are color coded, and there's tons of reasons for that. But basically, if I wanted to, I can put 1 gig chips or 1 gig RAM sticks inside this computer, and that equals 4, which equals 4 gig. So that would give me the ability to run this computer at a higher capacity with that processor. This processor, however, has it has its own speed, and it can take its own amount of hardware to accelerate, and that's basically RAM. All this stuff connects to the motherboard. So at any given time, the problem with motherboards, and that's why I'm really into this Google project ARA, or ARA, I don't know, ARA, and because what they have is modules. Is what they're working on is smart devices with modules that you can take and back to our story about the alleged Chevy small block. This is another. People like it. People like the idea. So and it fits. It means that you could take this thing and perhaps do 3 or 4 things with it in its lifetime as a computer. And I've seen all kinds of things done with them. But it's really important to note that everything on all motherboards are not created equal. So they have more components that could go wrong, and at any given time, anything on this motherboard could actually fail. You see, so you have a cooler here. This thing disperses heat off of the motherboard, and it's made of aluminum. I don't know if you can see that, but these right here are what are known as SATA, and that you can transmit data from one thing to another. Here we have some janky little hard drive, and I guess it's a 350 gigs, not bad. But this guy is a SATA cable, and it just transmits data, okay, through this cable here, and it's affectionately known as SATA, and it goes onto this motherboard where it can be processed. And these are the connections. It only fits one way, so you can't really mess it up. However, most of these guys now come with this little clip, and you could actually pull the other connector off if you're not depressing this clip to pull it in and out. So be careful there if you're messing around, if you're picking and grinning. But that's the story on that, is that this is for the data that will be transmitted. I don't know if I got any of that shot. Let's see if I can whip this around, get better. So here's the SATA cable, and this SATA cable goes into the hard drive or any other device like a CD or a lot of other devices. You can see that. Here's the clip. Oh, hiding it again. There's the drive. There's a SATA cable. Here's the clip that I was telling you about. There's the shape. I don't know if you can see that. See the shape of that? That only goes in one way. That's the good news. But here's where the problem happens is people pull this right out without depressing this little lever that releases it from the housing that holds it to the motherboard so that it can transmit data. So be aware of that. Sorry that I messed that up earlier and got that out of the shot. But here is the power. This is connected to the power, and everything needs power. So this drive needs power to turn. This is an older hard drive. And it too, can you see, has its own shape, and it only goes in one way. Now you can buy all kinds of adapters to do different things and fit into other pieces of equipment like fans is hot, lights. People put lights on their thing with a glass case or a cutout in their hood, if you will, for their car, and it lights up just like in real life with people's cars. They put a light show. Anyway, so here you got power again going to the motherboard for another part or section of the motherboard to power it. Here's a uh-oh, am I out of the frame again? Let me get right down in here. See if I can get a little closer, folks, if you bear with me. Kind of focus, centralize over here. So, apologize for I don't have the I just want you to get an idea of this, and you can check this stuff out on your own. Here's a piece of aluminum that serves as a cooler, but see this little guy right here going to the board? This is a very colorful piece of wiring that you'll see over and over again, and it's usually for a fan, but it could be for other things as well. This fan is actually sitting on top of a piece of aluminum like that, but bigger, that cools a chip, sort of like one of these guys, but a lot more impressive as far as scientifically. But underneath that is where your processor chip is. So these fans serve to cool a lot of that, and I wouldn't turn those counterclockwise or turn those at all if you can help it. Actually, when you take and dust with the blower, you need to hold, you could stick something through and stop the fan from turning, to clean it out. And be aware that you want to be careful when you use an air can, because you can actually push dust down into connectors and make it really hard for it to work properly after that. So you want to take extra care not to, and if you can, the best thing that they say to use for overall is canned air, because if you start brushing, they're static. So it gets deeper than that, folks, and by all means, if you want more, there is more out there. Okay, there's tons of videos. I guess I can complete this little series by just showing you the face. This is just a face. Can you see me? Getting ghosts in the ghost. Can you see me? Can you see me? Alright, so if I press these little levers, I can get the face off of this guy. Okay? And this reminds me of an old 70s movie. Someone named that movie. Alright, so there's that. And there's that. Here's the face coming off, just like in the sci-fi flick from the 70s. If you can name it, I'll give you a picture of a car. You get a picture of a car, all right? We take the mask off. Take the mask right off of this guy, like in that movie. Famous, iconic actor played in it. Two of them, actually. Maybe three. That's it. That's what you're doing. Here's your power button. Yeah. See this guy over here? Alright. See this mouth? Hi. Love you. Love you. I love you. Alright. There's that. Basically, that would get you some ports to plug in. Here's speaker, microphone, headset. Here's something called a wire, firewire connection. It's just another way to transmit data. Here's USB. That's another way to transmit data. There's the face off. Let's see if I remember how to take one of these off. I hope I'm not discouraging anybody by showing you how ugly this stuff is. It's just a dumb machine. You're the smart one. It's people like you that put these together all over the world. Sometimes little kids, and we don't like that, but sometimes that's the truth. And we're not going to try and sugarcoat it, folks. But this is just a machine. There's nothing to be afraid of. It's just like a car or any other household, a toaster, if you want. I mean, really. And not to try to put it down, but I'm trying to lift you up. Good folks. Here's where some other different mediums of saving data. They call SD flashcards and all that stuff for your camera. Here's another USB. You put that little guy in there, and you can either run a keyboard or there's all kind of equipment. Your flash memory stick, a microphone, microphone check, a microphone over there, and these are just, there's another little motherboard, another board, circuit board, and it's got all kinds of circuits. I mean, it's just a machine. It's nothing. These CDs pop out. This is a DVD player, DVD-ROM, and a DVD writer, and they just, I mean, all this stuff comes out. Somebody put this stuff in there. There are some computer-made factories, but I found out recently, not too long ago, that humans actually, in some countries, actually put these boards together. I mean, it looks like a machine might have did that, but what happens is you get a print or a schematic or a blueprint, if you will, and you have to follow that. So each build house, there's several build houses to meet deadlines. All companies use them. They're all over the place. As long as they have a good enough rating, any given time, a manufacturer could call up one of these build houses and say, I need, or part houses. The build house called the part, order the parts and everything. And we need 250 of these guys, 250,000 of this unit. And this time we're not going to use the same cooler aluminum piece of aluminum. We're going to use something new, and we got that coming, and that's coming from this other vendor over here. And then so once you get all that stuff and how you're going to configure it, and it finally comes out, there's a print, goes to a house, it gets built, and how it gets built from all over the world. From all over the world, people from all over the world, not robots, not generally. Not usually, not everything. Some things are just have to be done because of money and time by humans. So keep that in mind. But these little CD things just pop right out. This is just a frame, just like in a car. There's places where different parts go and where they snap into for harnessing and all that good stuff. An engine block has engine mounts and all that stuff. Well, these screws down here represent kind of like how it would stay, and a lot of these parts have Loctite, just like in a car, believe it or not. And I don't know why, because it would, I guess, just to make sure that that it's not going to fall apart. But usually, once a computer gets to a place, it just basically stays there most of the time, and it's not going on a rocket ship. And you wonder why are they using Loctite and everything? Anyway, that's how simple it is. That's it. That is it. Now you can search and go find out more. That's not what this video is about. This video is just basically taking the veil off of this thing. This is nothing to be afraid of. Okay? It's not like the olden days when you walked into a place and people just fell out. This is not that. This is not biblical proportions whatsoever. This is man talking monkeys, if you will, coming up with ways to help themselves and to help other people. It's just like a car. I mean, or it's just like any other piece of machinery. So don't let it bring you down. Take back the power. I mean, you can do. You probably have already done 10 things, or mastered, or got to know real well 10 other things that are way more complex than this. Trust me, it's just a machine, and you and people like you made it. There's no way. There's nothing to be afraid of. Honestly, and that's all there is to this guy. So take our little camera. We'll take our camera back, and most likely just end the video, because we're pretty much done. Unless you guys just want to stick around to hear me jibber jabber. That's a computer. There's nothing much to it. It's just a machine. It's the machine, baby. It's just a machine. It's not rocket science. If it was rocket science, I probably wouldn't be messing with this stuff. I would dare say the 5 million of us that do this every day wouldn't mess with this. We wouldn't be interested, because it's too much. It takes too much time and effort. To be quite frank, we wouldn't be as far along as we are with this technology if it was rocket science. Period. So I just want to prove to you and yours that, hey, you can get her done. It ain't nothing to it. You just pop it in, pop it out, pop it back in again, and smooth sailing, baby. Like a party on the patio in Texas. It's just, woo, ain't nothing much to it. It's just what you want to make it. So that's our first little look at computer basic hardware. You just did your first tutorial. Nothing to it, right? No big deal. You know what a CD player is. You know what a keyboard is. You know what a mouse is. You know what it does. It just moves a little thing around the screen like that there. You know what a monitor is. You know what a LCD. You know it's not a TV. This is just a computer monitor. You can watch TV through a program on your computer if you wanted to. You can watch a movie. You can make a movie and watch it. Pop some popcorn, whatever you want to do. This is a camera. You know what a USB slot is. You know all this stuff. I'm telling you. You know this. And that's all you need to know, is that thing is just a machine. And you're just plugging stuff into it. You're saving and copying files just like everybody else. Now you just got to look at it. Now, there are people that you know that have never done what you just did. So kudos to you for caring enough to want to learn, to want to know more, and having a big enough want to. You just got over the hardest part. We just dropped the veil on it. You've seen it for what it really is. It's just a machine. It's all and we call that a CPU, Central Processing Unit. CPU, box, computer machine, whatever you want to call it. The guts, the ribs and the guts of the machine. Yeah, whatever whatever you can make whatever you want out of it. But our point was to show you just how basic it is, okay? And we want to help you. So, as a favor to me, because just I'm making this available to you. Please hit like or subscribe, and if you have any old stuff, donate it to a nonprofit organization today. And if you're in Santa Fe, New Mexico, I would say go to cybernetworknm.org and give Doug a call if you have a truckload or more, and try to schedule a pickup with him. He's pretty busy because he can only afford to stay open, those good folks over there, from a certain time to a certain time. So give him a call. Their number is 505-983-2577, and get that old dusty computer stuff out of your closet, out of your house, and out of your life, and let it go right back into the community from where you're at right now. If you like it, support it. So that's all I'll say on that. But now's the time to do it. We have some other videos that we help you do. We have some spring cleaning tips that'll help you record your serial number and your MAC address, your unique physical address for each device that you have, and show you how to email it to yourself, so that in case anything happens, because as the temperatures go up, so does the crime rate. And the biggest crime in our city, the city different, Santa Fe, New Mexico, the oldest city in the United States, is that crime goes up. So if you could, there's power in the choice. The choices we make. The choice is the power. So you have a chance right now to make a choice, to set aside a little time to record this information that from the things that you find the most valuable. If you could just lose them and not miss a beat, fine, don't worry about it. But if there's something that you paid a lot of money or still paying on, and you want to protect it, first thing the authorities want to know is, do you have the serial number? Do you have the make and model? What how much is it worth? All that good stuff. Well, you can do yourself a favor and record that information and email it to yourself, email it to your wife, email it to your mama, email it to your friend, email it whoever you got, your partner, your player partner on the trail, in the trail. No, whoever your buddy is, your pal, or just if you just want to email it to yourself, email it to yourself. But then you have something to work with if in fact hopefully that doesn't happen. I'm hoping for the best. But we have some videos for that. Real simple, real easy. Show you how to get the information and move on with your life. So my name is Sean. Thank you for watching. This is memesit.com. Check us out. Check out our videos. Hit like and subscribe. We'll see you again. Thank you.